Welcome everybody to the Sam McKee Memorial Broadcast on this Saturday evening in East Rutherford, New Jersey at Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment. And we are celebrating International Women's Day tonight at the Meadowlands. Of course, that actually takes place on Wednesday. I am happily joined by Lauren Tritton here for In the Sulky in honor of International Women's Day. And Lauren, women back home from where you're from in Australia are taking more on the big stage in harness racing aside from here at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, Jess, thanks for having me on today. Women drivers really taking a big stance back home, and it's really good to see. And I think one of the biggest races in Australia, the Miracle Mile, was won by a female last night, which is awesome to see.
That is absolutely awesome to see. Now, I want to get to know you a little better myself. So I have a few notes here. The first time you sat behind a horse was in 2008. What got you introduced to horses to begin with?
I had nothing to do in school holidays. I really loved horses. There was a lot of people around me that had harness racing horses, and I just went to help out, and it all bloomed from there. I didn't stop. I was thrilled by the adrenaline rush, and I just never looked back.
All right, we're going to take a look at a couple of graphics that we have put together. Lauren, at the beginning. Lauren, you and your mom competed in equestrian riding. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, look, me and Mom, we had a couple of ponies that we used to take to shows and compete very successfully, and it was a big job, but we really enjoyed it, and it was our side time.
You had a couple of people that got you started in the harness racing world, Aussie trainers Josh and Terry Bell. They actually gave you your start.
Yeah, look, Terry and Josh were very good to me. They gave me all my qualifying drives to get my license, and I couldn't thank them enough for that.
We're going to go right into the second graphic because there's a couple of more interesting facts that I want to get to. The first female to win the Open Premiership. What kind of race is that, and what would you compare it to in the U.S.?
Yeah, look, they're all our big races and our metropolitan meetings. So it's like here every Saturday night. It's races over $15,000. So it was a really big thrill to win that race. It's very hard to do. And I beat some of the top drivers in that premiership. So yeah, I was very thrilled to get that.
You were the youngest driver to win 500 wins in Australia. How old were you when you did that?
I think I was 17. I had a really big season, and I worked really hard. Not many 17-year-olds was doing what I was doing, but I chased it, and yeah, that's how I ended up.
What kind of work went back to getting into that amount of drives, let alone that amount of wins?
Look, I was doing two meetings a day meetings and then night meetings. It was ridiculous. There was a couple of times that they were falling asleep at the wheel, but and jumping on and off horses as they were going out and off the track. So. It's something that I don't want to do again, but I achieved it, and that was how I was rewarded.
You have driven 4 winners on 21 race cards, including a couple in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
You did the Tioga, so a lot of respect goes to you with getting that amount of drives.
Yeah, thank you. And, like I said, I was jumping on and off horses, on and off the track, and it was all I knew at the time. But, I think it's something that I've achieved a lot of. And I think there was one race there I drove 7 winners and 2 tracks, so it's good.
It's a lot of traveling up and down the roads, too. Now, Muscle Factory came to the U.S., I believe, last year or the year before with you guys. You actually drove him to a Victorian Derby win. What's the Victorian Derby?
The Victorian Derby is the best 3-year-olds in the country competing at a track over 1.5 miles. It was a really big thrill to win that race. I think that's one of my highlights of my career, and Muscle is a personal favorite, so it was a really good night.
What would that be equivalent to in the U.S., like the Meadowlands pace?
Meadowlands pace,
okay, yeah. So a few other things. You're a mom of 2, so you're really busy. How many horses do you guys have in Pine Bush, New York, correct?
Yeah, so we're full at the moment. I think there's 28 there, and that's the number we want to stay at. We've got a lot of nice babies and a lot of nice open horses getting ready for the Levy and the blue chip mares. So we're really busy at the moment, and like you said, the 2 kids, they don't give me any space.
Lots of busy time, early mornings, late night as well. I have a couple of questions for you. Now, you won the Drivers' Premiership twice, but the third time that you were going to win the Driving Premiership, something happened with an 8-legged creature. Can you tell us that story?
Yes, look, so cut a long story short, I had washed my silks that day, and I went out onto the track, and I was in the post parade, and I felt something bite me in the arm, and I kind of felt dizzy straight away, and I said to the driver next to me, something's in my silks, whatever it is, if something happens, tell them that it's in there. And I quickly grabbed them off, and we'd worked out that it was one of the most dangerous spiders in Australia. It was a redback spider bite. I was going to win the premiership. I had the odds-on favorite in that race. I was determined to drive, but my vitals showed that they were crashing, so that I needed to be rushed to hospital. So
oh, goodness.
That horse ended up winning that race, and I lost the premiership by that win. So.
Well, you have 2 under your belt, so at least you can say that. What's the difference between Australia racing and the U.S. racing? I guess maybe one of the biggest differences.
Definitely, obviously the distance. We race over 1.5 miles a lot, or 1.25 miles.
Yeah.
And the speed of races. It took me a long time to work that out. I just feel like I'm going as fast as I can for a short distance of time, and I think we try and get a breather our second quarter in Australia, where here there's none of that.
Was it a lot to acclimate to, you being in the driver's seat?
Definitely, and working out the way the drivers drive here. There's no holes back home. If you're parked, you're parked.
Right.
And if you can't lead, then you go back. Yeah, that's how it is.
I want to ask you about one of your stars in your barn. We saw her here last night. That was Maybelline, and a higher feature for the female pacers. She's prepping for that series over at Yonkers. What did you think of her first start over the Meadowlands last time?
Look, honestly, I think she was stripped of a win last night. It was very unfortunate that she didn't get the run that she could have got late, and she ended up getting out late and dashing home nicely. I was really happy with her, but I think it was perfect for her to go into the blue chip. I think she's really going to step up this year, and we're really excited about what we got for her.
There it is on the screen. She just got outpaced a little bit by a horse on her outside, but she really did race well to get that nice mile tightener under her.
Yeah, and look, the track was really off last night, and I think those horses got the advantage on me out late before I ended up getting a run. So I was definitely not disappointed in her at all.
Who is your favorite horse that you have currently in your barn?
Definitely Springsteen.
Who we know, and I think he won here a couple weeks ago, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And he's one of those horses that he can't be 100% right. He's got to be 120% right on the day. So that's my goal during the week, is making sure Springsteen's 120% right.
Well, we thank you so much for being a part of our International Women's Day. Do you have any advice for any young woman out there who just might be a little scared to take that next step into this industry?
Yeah, of course. Look, we all can do it. It doesn't matter what you are, male or female. And, don't let anyone tell you differently. If you want to do it, go and get it and enjoy every moment of it.
All right, we thank you so much, Lauren, for joining us today on In the Sulky. Good luck tonight in your drive, and I know you have a couple from your barn that is racing, as well as Nandola. How is he coming into the race?
Yes, Nandola's going really well. He's had a couple of rough weather scratchings, but that's fine, and he'll be ready to go today.
We're actually going to take a closer look at him on our pregame show in a couple of minutes, when Lauren is going to head to the back and get ready for tonight. Ashley Mayu will join me for the pregame and the rest of the night. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Thanks for having me.